Good morning, Sheroes and community. This morning, we are so excited to connect with you all. We hope that everything is well with you. And we want to continue, as promised, the conversation about podcasting. As everyone knows, our big theme for the month is communication. And one of the ways that we decided to start communicating with our audience was through a podcast. Right, Hugh?
From the very, very beginning, yes, how we build our audience, finding our subject matter, all started with the podcast. And I just want to say, as we're getting started, I'm not naked. It's 104 degrees in the Las Vegas at dark 30. No, but I am not naked, just summertime gear here. So I don't want to throw anyone off or scare anyone away.
Look, it's a whole new show now.
All right, now it's a whole new show. Podcasting and peaking or
Okay.
something like that. But yes, no, podcasting, what an incredible instrument. And people are always asking us, how do you get started?
Yes. Yes. And why? Why did we choose to go this route? And it's proven to be a really great tool to just connect with people who share your same values, basically. And so today we have our podcast checklist. If you have not, seen the podcast checklist, you still have an opportunity to check it out. Just type podcast in the comments and we'll make sure you get that. Okay. But we're going over step one, which is brainstorming podcast topics and themes. So yeah. With us it was pretty straightforward and simple. We knew exactly who we wanted to serve and who we wanted to speak to. Right, Q?
Right. Exactly. And so, right from the very beginning, not only your title, but just exactly knowing that audience is going to set you up to try to find your guest. And then, of course, you want a very concise kind of title that's going to go right with who your audience is. Like ours, She Serves Sheroes. I mean, ours is 2-in-1. When you hear She Serves Sheroes, other than hearing a tongue twister, I think you kind of identify immediately these are probably women who served.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That turned
Yeah.
out to be Sheroes.
Yes. And we lucked out. We lucked out, honest. I have to be honest, because Marquetta's a bit of a wordsmith. She loves words. And so as we're going through, the ideas, and she just spit it out. She serves Sheroes. And I was like, first thought, are people going to be able to say that? That was my first. I was like, But it worked out so well because everywhere we go, that's the first thing people say. We're like, hi, She Serves Sheroes. They're just completely shocked, and then they remember. They never forget, and then they start sharing it. So I think we kind of lucked out with that one. Yeah.
Well, again, it's that making sure that the name clearly reflects the podcast content and target audience. 2-in-1 immediately. Like some of the podcasts that we like and watch and love, just like She Serves Sheroes. That name right at the beginning is telling you what it's about. So it's like you definitely have to start with who's your audience, what are we talking about, and how is that readily identifiable?
Right.
Right?
Right. And then if you are not the wordsmith, like my sis, what you can do, there are different tools that can help you. We find the chat to be very helpful,
Yes.
right? And then of course a thesaurus, right? That's where I would go. That's where I would go. Online, I would search, you know what I mean? Do a good search of different keywords, related words, search it, like research it, take the time to research it.
And when you said chat, it's very, very common for us, but not everybody knows about the chat. So we're talking about AI there, where
Mhm.
it's like your new virtual thesaurus. You can actually type in a prompt who your audience is, I'm sorry, excuse me. I'm getting rather old and I just cannot control the heartburn sometimes. I'm sorry. Not old, but you definitely have to think about what you eat the night before in the 40s, Jesus. But with Chat GPT
Indeed.
or on Google Gemini, there's a bunch of AI platforms, right? But yes, getting those prompts down to help you get to that almost like its own SEO. I mean, SEO, search
Right.
engine optimization, is going through the Google and typing in those words. And when you're thinking about your audience, your name, your theme, you do want to put that in the Google, in search engines. What comes up?
Hmm.
Again, something we knew from the very beginning. There was no one else using She Served She Rose. When we
Right.
Googled it, when we looked for it, wasn't out there at
Will
all.
not exist.
Did not exist. Now, if you Google She Served She Rose, you're going to see us everywhere.
Right.
So I think that's right too at the beginning when you're figuring out your brand, who you're talking to, your audience. Also, is it only me or are you having any issues or is it just me?
I think it's you. I haven't said anything yet. Can you hear me?
I can hear you totally fine. I just kind of blacked out for a minute. I mean, for about 5 seconds,
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
went blank.
you did.
Oh,
Yes, yes, you did. I
it's
noticed
so
it.
sweet. Yes, it is.
Yes.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry, just I didn't know if we went down or I went down. Okay, got it.
Mhm.
I don't know. Sometimes, and oh, even this though, I know that we're not here yet, but do you mind if I give them the little cheat code of where we are right now and like
Of
platform?
course.
I know we'll get to platform, in another conversation because podcasting is not a 1 day topic. It's where we're just trying to get them started. But, even right now, a cheat code,
Hmm.
the tool that we're using right now is called StreamYard. So StreamYard is somewhere that you can push out your podcast to everyone all at once. Pre-record, record live, have webinars, so many things you can do. But there's not just, there's so many tools out there to look into, I guess is all I'm trying to say.
Yes. And we will definitely go over recording tips, technical setup, all these different things for sure.
But
Um,
today, we're only on the concept and the content.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, a clearly defined name that reflects your content and your audience, and then looking up some. If you have no clue where to start, I'm going to suggest looking up some hot topics. What is the world talking about right now? What is the world talking about that you can add to the conversation? You know what I mean, right, Q?
Yeah, that you can add value to.
That you can add value to the conversation.
Mhm.
Also, if you're getting started and you have no idea what you want to talk about, it's just something you're interested in, possibly. What burns you up on the inside when you see something? You know what I mean? For me, like, I don't particularly like injustice. Like, if you want to get me really, really, boiled up topics of concerning injustice. So what gets you boiled up? Is it homelessness? You know what I mean? What burns you to the point where you want to move and do something? Maybe start the conversation about it first, because that then puts you in a position where you're collecting others. You know what I mean? Others who feel the same way. And then you guys can make a strategy for your movement. What comes next after the conversation, right?
Value and impact. Definitely. You want your podcast to have both value and impact so that other people are drawn to it as well. And your audience will really start to find you when you have clear messaging. So, again, we're talking about really today your concept. Is it fully clear? And then what is your content going to be about? Also, I mean, I know we were talking about the name, but also you with making sure that your podcast has its own identity. I guess just what you're saying, just being really clear so that there is no confusion on what you're doing.
and passionate. And passionate. You know what I mean? If you're passionate about it, chances are when things get rough, you're going to keep going. You know what I mean? Because things might get rough. You might be talking to crickets for months. You know what I mean? For months and months at a time. What's going to keep you going? What's going to keep you pushing record and blasting it out? Because also the background work, we haven't talked about marketing yet. We haven't talked about, if you have a budget for graphics, then that's fantastic. You can go ahead and get that task off to someone else. But if you don't have a budget for that, you got to do that yourself. What's going to make you motivated to learn? First of all, maybe that's not something you know how to do at all, but now you got to learn. Now you got to learn how to do graphics. Now you got to understand how long your reel should be. Now you have to understand, you have to go into another. What's going to keep you going if there's crickets? That passion. You are being so passionate about the conversation that you would do it for free, and you would do it if no one was even really listening at first. But the goal, like Keta said, is to, once you have your audience, then they're going to start sharing on your behalf, hopefully, right? That's the goal, to collect other passionate people who will say, everybody needs to hear this. Hold up. Everybody needs to hear this. So we have been fortunate to have you all, our community. You've been pushing us into these internet streets and making sure that everyone knows who we are. We appreciate that, and quite naturally, it will happen for you that way.
And consistency is key also, right? When you're just getting started, even if you don't have the flow, the whole everything worked out, consistency is key. How can people find you if they don't know when you're going to be on? So if you're doing it every single day at the same time, once a week at the same time, once a month, whatever you're doing, you want to know that you have a consistent rhythm that your audience can follow.
Oh, poor sister.
It's
Bless
like
your heart.
trying to talk without letting it out, like
Poor thing. Oh,
listen.
oh boy.
People managing the people experience. Oh, and that's something else too, like how I went black for 6 seconds, not panicking, and just kind of just sitting there, letting it wait out, allowing technology to be technology without being in a panic as well. You have to give yourself grace when you're first starting out, for sure.
Oh yes. Yes. If it's not perfect, that's okay. If it's not perfect, that is okay. You know what I'm learning, and I guess this is a good time to share what I'm learning as we are developing our brands and developing ourselves as business owners, is the flexibility. Flexibility, because things may change. Things will change, and hopefully for the better, right? Things will change for the better. So you might start off in one direction with your branding. Your branding might totally suck. you know, and you might not even know. You know what I mean? You may not be aware. You're just out here doing it. Be open and flexible to, taking in some constructive criticism when considering your brand, considering your everything that you're doing as you're setting up. You may have to pivot. You may have to, just to increase, your listening audience, whatever it is. Maybe you're starting to go after sponsors, and so you got to elevate your brand. Don't worry. Starting out, um, and things are not perfect, it's perfectly fine. You can change that over time. It can get better over time. I did not prefer, coming back to our experience, I did not prefer to do the graphics and various things for ours, because we have a huge plan and a huge vision, right? And we see a national vision. And so I'm like, man, I wish we could, hire someone to do this. But in the meantime, it's me. In the meantime, it's Keta. In the meantime, it's us. And is it perfect? I've seen some podcasts where, like, oh my God, this is amazing. But we'll get there. We will get there. So just get started is the point. Just get started. Things will change, and be prepared to change and elevate, because, again, there's energy that's put into the background of things. You know what I mean? Hours and hours of designing and creating. And so you might get attached. I can see how you'll get attached to your work, but it's okay. Elevation is it's actually inevitable, right? You will elevate. Things will elevate over time, and that's okay. That's okay. That's okay.
Absolutely.
Change is good.
So you also want to think about your format. Is it an interview style like this, where two people are talking? Is it panel style, where you have multiple people talking? Is it just you talking? What is the actual layout of your podcast? You want to make sure you know, like your first few episodes, having that laid out. There's a lot of background work. And like Latari mentioned earlier, we have done some of the heavy lifting and just creating a checklist for you to kind of check off, have I considered this? Have I done this, to keep you on your task list? And like we said before, just want to remind you again, go ahead and type podcast in the chat, and you'll get that checklist so that you can start brainstorming and kind of coming up with your creative juices.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, considering podcasting, if you're considering it, we've got you covered. We want to share everything that we've learned, what went well, what didn't go so well, and everything in between, everything that we're learning along the way. Look out for what's next in season 3. We're planning some wonderful, wonderful things for you all, and elevating and changing different things about how our current format will change. And we're excited about it.
We're
We're
excited.
super
It shows
excited.
that we're growing.
Yes.
So
Yes.
again, if you can't afford to be live in a studio, but you have that passion, you're ready to get started, again, we're giving you the cheat codes of how you can get started wherever you're at, whatever
Wherever.
place that you're at. If you're going to be, get that checklist and get some of
Hmm.
these cheat codes so you can
Hmm.
understand how to get started. And a lot of times I know I'm this type of personality, and that's why I love that we're doing this, because a lot of times it's hard to step out on things if you don't feel fully confident. Like, well, I haven't done this yet. I haven't gotten that. I don't know how to do this. Again, go ahead and start with your concept content. Step 1 in the checklist. We're telling you to, like we just said, brainstorm your topics, your theme, have a full calendar outline. Like, just start doing the back end work. And again, if you need a guide, comment podcast. So you can start with that checklist to get your juices flowing. We need
Yes.
juices
Yes.
flowing
Yes.
during
Yes.
the summer. It's hot. Get those, get that creative ideas going.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then, so again, our theme, if we want to we want to continue to share and encourage everyone to master communication for whatever your goal is. If you're starting a podcast, fantastic. We've done that, so we can help out with that. If you are making moves in your career, let's say you're looking get promoted, and you have to go before a group of your peers to speak up for yourself, to say why you deserve to be in this new position. That's effective communication. That's what we're talking about this particular month. Is the theme is communication, right? And so our next event, ah, our next event is designed to do just that, to help everyone to clearly and effectively communicate the things that they are passionate about, whether it's in the vein of entrepreneurship or your professional environment, um, wherever you are building your career. Communication is key.
And personal development. in all areas, just stepping up until where you want to go next. A lot of times that challenge is effective sharpening your communication skills. So whether all of those things, professionally, personally, the brand development, podcast, all of those areas, if you feel like you need to work on your communication skills, and not even just to work on your communication skills, but to also build that network as well, being with like-minded people and just sharpening yourself using digital resources, you want to come on to this virtual Speak Up, Stand Out webinar
Oh,
for
yes,
sure. Um,
absolutely.
and this is going to be actually about a month away. So there, go ahead and get your seat right now. And we'll be giving you all kind of tips as we go along, as we build closer. But on July 13th, when we have this, we have some great speakers coming in,
Yes.
stopping by. We have some great gifts to give away. We love to do giveaways. And then all the things that we've been working on are digital resources, like how we have this podcast checklist for you. I think there's like maybe 7 different topics that we're going over in this event, and accompanying materials for every area, a full
Yes.
digital library almost you're going to be walking away with from this event.
Absolutely. There's going to be exercises, worksheets, so that you can actually see what you've learned. You can see what you've learned, and you can check out. I don't know, do a self check. So there's going to be you'll be able to do some self checking to understand what you just understood, to plan to implement what you just absorb the information. Our goal is always that you walk away with something, the experience, like she said, a new network of like-minded people, but also tangible resources that you could say, okay, I'm stepping into this thing and I have everything I need to step into it. See here, we
Create
have the
smart
gold.
goals,
Yes.
action plans.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. The time management template. Now that is going to be important for my life right there. That time management template. I'm excited to dive into that. Powerful, powerful tools is what we are always planning to deliver. Always.
Yes, and so this webinar, again, it's July 13th. And I'm sure that in the comments down here, we'll have the link for you to register as well. And that's going to be just a great time online. We want to invite everyone to join us. But bonus for those that are local, we are going to have an amazing after party in person after coming together for this great time of learning through the day, having phenomenal speakers, all of these resources. Then we're going to do a little bit of celebration. So
Yes.
you got to get
Yes.
your tickets now. Be in that number.
Be in
Join
that
us
number.
on the webinar and then come hang out with us afterwards.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we want to thank you, right? We want to thank you for having our back. You know what I mean? For tuning in, for sticking with us. We've been here since November, talking to you all, sharing with you all. And you've been giving back. You've been giving back and fueling us and keeping us going. Thank you, thank you,
The
thank you so
Sheroes
much.
are everywhere. I mean, the Sheroes have connected with us from all over the country. I mean, our first season, like she's saying, give yourself grace. We're still not at the space that we want to be, but we're still doing what we said we would do. And just from our
Mhm.
first season, we've had literally women reach out to us from all over the country. We still have a pipeline of guests to move forward with.
A waiting list. We have a waiting list. Right.
Wow.
We have a waiting list. And because, again, we were so fortunate to find a niche. It's fortunate, but it's unfortunate that not many uh, people have been speaking to or serving the minority women who have served. It's a little shocking to know that there is still so much work to be done in this area. I believe that that's a huge reason why it spread so quickly, because it was like, oh, what is this? Yes, something for us.
Yes. So we want to work with you to find your voice, speak up, stand out, and encourage you along your mission and partner with you. And you don't have to be just a female veteran to learn from this community. If you're an ally, supporter, it resonates with you, we want you here.
Absolutely. Right. Because I'm an ally. I am not a shero in the sense of someone who served, but I am totally an ally, definitely the descendant of grandfather, father, uncles, cousins, everyone in my whole family. I came from a military family. And so I'm here on the strength of, well, I just love to support women, number one, and then especially the women who were badass enough to go put on a uniform and you know what I mean, and go into places that none of us could ever imagine, to do assignments and tasks that a lot of us could never imagine. So I'm here on the strength of thank y'all for doing it. We see you. You are recognized. We appreciate who you are, and we see who you are even now today after you've served. You ladies are y'all are doing some amazing things, and I think our future as a human race, but definitely our country can totally use the gifts that you are now, even still. The gifts that you currently are, you are a gift to us, and thank you.
We look forward to hearing you guys more. We can't wait to continue sharing. Sunday AM back here with you guys. Okay.
We'll be back.
Again, right. And we will continue to be back. There's so much happening, so much to go looking forward to. Podcast, drop that right in the chat. And we want to hear you. Talk to us. Let us know what you're thinking about. What are your podcast ideas? What are you thinking about? We want to, make sure you get that podcast checklist. And then if you need more assistance, please reach out to us.
Yeah.
Let's have a
Also,
conversation.
could I ask that you name a few of your favorite podcasts if you are currently drop them?
Yes.
Yeah, drop them in the
Yes.
comments.
Yes, please share your
Mm-hmm.
favorite podcast. That is great.
Mm-hmm.
All
All
righty. Getting
right.
off with this Sunday morning, continuing on with our Sunday morning.
All right. Have a great one, everyone.
Have a great one, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.